Hi, my name is Kai Mann, and I'm the author of 30-Day Notice. Today, I'm going to read a little bit from the book for you. Enjoy. Leaving Florida was sad and invigorating at the same time. I can still feel every emotion of that time as if it just happened yesterday. As the plane was landing, my heart was pounding with fear and excitement at the mere thought of embarking on someplace new. It was a beautiful, clear night. The city of Chicago was beautiful. It was the most beautiful place that I had ever seen. Coming from a small city in Florida and living for 3 years outside of a military base, my world was small and almost non-existent. The lights on the buildings gave the city an indescribable spirit. It made me feel tingling. I smiled on the inside because I felt Chicago was going to be good for me. While there, I met good people who would define for me what it really means to live in Chicago. I was like a baby breathing air into its lungs for the first time. My lungs were so full that when I finally breathed out, I felt like I could let go of everything that had me bound. Life had always taken some sort of twist or turn for me in the past, but I suppose it did for everyone though. At times, the journey would seem as if it were taking me down a path for the worst. If I didn't believe in God and knew better, now of course, I would have given up a long time ago. At a time when you're coming into your own and you're trying to figure out who you are, I almost gave up. I can remember the big picture window in the living room and wanting to run through it at a young age. I kept thinking to myself that I'd probably just end up cut up really bad and the glass wouldn't cut any major veins. I thought that I would probably live through it and would just have scars as remnants of my failed attempt to end my short life. I lived in a house where there were no guns that I could see. How quick and easy that would have been. I remember feeling so alone. I couldn't tell my friends about what was going on inside of me. I couldn't even explain it to myself. All I knew was that I had been feeling like this ever since I could remember. My mother always made sure that I had the best of everything. That was never the problem. The problem was that I was never talked to. Talked at, but never talked to. Even the people who called themselves trying to help couldn't even rescue me. They too would help to create deep skeletons in my closet. Things that happened in the family had a way of staying in the family. My aunt would always wonder what would become of me. She could see through me. She knew that I was a child that would always seem to look for love. I would be that same child who would grow into an adult to continue to search for the same. She would not make it to assist me in my journey. I had to go at it alone. As time grew, I tried everything that society would have me to be, including what they would call walking the straight and narrow path. Got married, had children, went to church 3 times a week, and even prayed about it, but that didn't take away what was inside of me. It wasn't until I decided to be happy with the person that I was that I became my most happiest. Even so, that happiness would come at a high cost. It's funny how you start out in one place to end up in another. I was raised in Florida and ended up in Detroit by way of Chicago. In search of self, I stopped along the way to pick up passengers who would fill in the empty spaces on the canvas of my life. I remember my first girlfriend and the first time we made love. As I lay there afterwards, I couldn't help but say over and over in my head, "This is it. This is what was missing." Something that day just clicked for me. That time in my life would affirm for me who I really was. Since that day, the only choice that I had made was to be me and to happily be comfortable in my own skin. That very same girlfriend would teach me everything that I thought I needed to know about the lesbian life, but when the time came, I had to fill in the rest. That relationship was over just as quick as it got started. Then I met Layla. Layla would be the one I'd come to realize was my first real love. She was everything to me. I loved this woman like she was the very apple of my eye. The sun would rise and set with her. Layla would define for me something more than just physical. It was a mental and spiritual kind of love. Thoughts of her even now send the scent of juniper breeze rushing through my mind. Her juniper breeze would float through the air, tantalizing me right down to the core. Yes, Layla was the be-all and end-all of my existence. My whole world felt as though it started and stopped because of her. The day she left, it almost did.